Yo, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Salvation's Elite. We are back with another video, guys, and as you guys can tell, this is the first Learn from the Pros after the start of the Call of Duty League, the inaugural 2020 season of the Call of Duty League, and let me tell you, we got a spicy one. I mean, based off the history of us doing Learn from the Pros, if you guys are new around here, basically every single year, kind of like my thing has been Learn from the Pros. We watch professional Call of Duty, break it down, and see what we can pick from it. Usually there's a lot of really good things the pros are doing that we're not doing as amateur players or as up-and-coming players, and we can learn a lot from watching the professionals play this game from an analytical point of view, not just the entertainment point of view that you get when you're just watching the stream. So with that said, let's get right into the video. We're watching the Huntsmen versus OpTic Gaming, you know, the old OpTic versus the new OpTic, and we're watching them on Cave. It should be good. Let's get right into it. Let's go. So every episode of Learn from the Pros, there's usually some themes that go along with the episode, and this one, since we're doing Hardpoint, there's gonna be a lot of ones that you might expect. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is the importance of anchoring, and especially on Cave when the spawns can be it's just so whack, and like in this game, of course, you know how crazy these spawns can be. So anchoring, for those of you who are new around here or new to the competitive scene, is the player or a player who sits more near the back of the spawn, not in the back of the spawn, but near the back of the spawn to secure the spawns for their team. So in this clip that we're gonna watch here, OpTic is trying to break this Huntsman hill in back cave, and it's a really tough hill to break normally. So the thing is, they rush through Y, back yellow, and they kind of all push it together, and they get a crazy spawn out. So they didn't have anybody sitting back sandbags or anything like that, because that would have prevented the spawn more than likely. Even though Arcitys was sitting on the truck, TJ still spawned out in the back of the hill, which is crazy. And like in any other Call of Duty, that would never happen. But in Modern Warfare with this game, regardless, you have to be aware. Even though the spawns suck, you have to be aware of the really bad spawns, and that's a place where it can definitely happen. So on Azhir, you gotta be very aware of that while holding this hill, that they could potentially at any moment spawn out behind you if you don't have somebody sitting top sandbags or anchoring, like maybe back useless or something like that. So that is something you have to be aware of. So let's just real quick watch the clip so you can get a feel for what went down.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. A smoke is going to go out for OpTic Gaming LA. One player trying to win a gunfight, but it's Scump versus TJ that time, and it is TJ. And this is just going to be easy for Arcitys. He's going to be on the backside. There's the trade with Gunless. But OpTic Gaming LA, one player snuck through. That was actually TJ. Spawns in the back.
I don't know what stuck through. They got 4 or 5 down there as they try to hit through the cut, but then they end up spawning in the back. I think they just got blessed. I didn't see anyone sneak through.
So yeah, man, the spawns were just rough, but at the same time, like the Huntsmen could play that better if they were more aware of that potentially happening to them on that hill, because it is something that happens somewhat frequently in that back spawn if you don't have somebody sitting back there. But of course, it's very important on all hills, and specifically on Modern Warfare, when it comes to anchoring the spawns and securing hills like that. So the next thing is the opposite hill inside Cave. What we're first gonna pay attention to is Dashy's rotation pretty early here. He rotates basically right after the 30-second mark, which is pretty early for most hills to rotate. And he does a really good job of setting up and securing the hill for OpTic Gaming. And OpTic's setup was pretty solid. The problem is that the Huntsmen really do an incredible job of breaking this hill. So we're gonna talk about both the rotation and the break here. So first, let's pay attention to Dashy's rotation off the rip. So he dies and then spawns up just after that 30-second mark on the hill. And so that's the decision-making time for a lot of teams and a lot of players. And it can really make or break your maps, is depending on how you're playing and how you're controlling those hills and whether or not you rotate at that point or push towards the hill. So they knew they were only down by like 9 or 10 points, and they had 4 players around the hill at that point. So Dashy decided to make the decision to push out towards the new hill and try to secure that setup for the next one. I think overall it was a pretty good decision. Unfortunately, his teammates weren't able to secure as much time on the old hill as they would have liked, but at the same time, Dashy rotating early and getting the kill on Formal inside well allowed them to secure the beginning of this new hill, even though they weren't able to hold it. Let's just watch that rotation to then the setup on the new hill, and then we can talk about Huntsman's break.
Envoy just trying to stay alive towards this broken area, and you just see nobody's on it. Nobody feels comfortable to get on that hill.
There's not a ton of points really secured for either side of it yet. Slasher with a nice play, ends up flopping on his belly, popping back up and taking 2 with him. But once the dust settles, you still have Envoy in and around the hard point. At the top of the minimap, you can see multiple OpTic Gaming players starting to set up for Cave West as they've all rotated in.
Yeah, it was actually Dashy. He went there with about 20 seconds. It was a 4v5 at field for a good amount of time. Dashy, he was able to find that opener bottom.
So as you can see there, the Huntsmen didn't do a good job of rotating this hill. I mean, they didn't even get one player in there until the hill had already started. And so not an ideal setup for the Huntsmen. And you can see OpTic Gaming's setup right here is pretty solid. They have one just outside Y that's pushing up towards hill. They have two inside hill watching the cave entrance. And then one player's on B dom looking out that way as well. But what's really impressive is the Huntsmen's ability to break this hill. So they basically flood the front. They get a little bit of well pressure, and then they push in together and trade the kills and bait very, very well using their smokes at the same time. So of course, the tactical usage in this game is so important when it comes to smokes, concussions, and then the nades as well with lethals. The trophy systems are what counters that, and so when you're able to identify that the opposing team doesn't have their trophies down, or you destroy their trophies, that's when you throw out the smokes, that's when you throw out the nades, that's when you throw out the stuns or the flashes, and make it happen in the hill. So let's watch how the Huntsmen do this, and then we can talk about it. Pay close attention to Envoy and how he baits in the corner behind the box, and then his teammates are able to come in, sweep up the kills, and make it happen. So let's watch.
He went there with about 20 seconds. It was a 4v5 at field for a good amount of time. Dashy, he was able to find that opener bottom well. I know OpTic Gaming will be happy about that. As you can see, take a look at this scoreboard right now on the side of OpTic Gaming LA. It's Kuavo, it's Slasher, they're both in double digits. On the other side, Envoy, double positive at 15 and 7. Gunless right behind them, but you need some of the other guys to step on up.
Well,
it's still a very close game here so far.
They were able to break in from the left preferred side, get some position, the hard point, whatever time you can get is gravy, and it's 4-1 now with 5 in a row. He's only 7 and 7. But maybe starting to come alive within this map. Once again, a nice clean wipe from the Huntsmen.
So you see how Envoy sat behind that box there and then waited for the time for the bait from his teammates. Like, it was just really, really good plays through the smoke. And then Formal's gun skill inside the hill to defend that new hill and make the plays and get the points. Incredibly impressive stuff from them as a squad. And you see Envoy, we're going to talk about him later again because he makes some big time plays near the end of the game. As a whole, as a team, they play incredibly good hardpoint. And that's got to be a really good sign if you're a Huntsman fan, because there was question marks on how this team might play together with their new roles that some of them were playing at, and it seems to be working really, really well. So after that last wave there was basically the next segment right here is right after that hard point. And so OpTic rotates to the back tent hill, and they have an incredible setup here. So first of all, let's pay attention to how they set up on this tent hill, because it's really, really a nice setup. I mean, they play for information. It allows them to cover every single lane that can possibly be covered on the map, and they're really, really ready for Huntsmen. The problem is they don't communicate and play together and cover each other and trade each other's kills effectively. And so then once again, the Huntsmen end up breaking the hill. So first of all, let's just watch this clip and again pay attention to the minimap and how OpTic sets up on this new hill.
They now go up 20 points, rotating across with Scump, I think, to try and maybe sneak through and get to outposts. We head to our final hard point in this first set of rotations, but he's going to get cut down. And as you take a look at the minimap, you've really got the layer there from OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, you have Slasher and TJ so far pushed up middle of the map. This is going to force Chicago Huntsmen to decide, do we want to push through cave? Do we want to try to get field control? A great setup out of OpTic Gaming is TJ. He's able to find one. Kuavo, him and JCap are taking care of middle. This could be a huge hold and maybe our first lead change here in a while for OpTic Gaming.
We're almost 30 seconds in. There's been absolutely no presence or pressure towards the hard point. Now maybe a chance for it. Here goes Scump trying to get in. Stun comes through. He gets a headshot there through the stun, and this is the position you want to get to. Get up to that wall. You can be such an annoying nuisance towards the point. Nice shot from Huntsman.
So you can see there how OpTic pushed out. They had massive map control, and that's what you want to do on hardpoint rotations. A lot of amateur teams get stuck in this idea that they need to stay near the hardpoint and like guard the hardpoint, but that's not how it is at all. The best way to guard the hard point is by pushing out and taking control of the map. So like the land grab is what's the most important part of defending hard points, and then it allows you to respawn and get back to the hard point by the time the other team gets there as well. So what was the problem that OpTic had here was it was kind of weird. They died off the setup, and then instead of wrapping back into cave, they decided to push out towards mid. I mean, maybe they're trying to work this rotation, but it was interesting because they ended up giving the Huntsmen basically the last 20 seconds. So they ended up only gaining, like 10 or so seconds on this hill, even though they could have easily had a lead off this hill if they would have pushed forward again. So it was kind of a give and take with the rotations they were trying to aim for. But either way, the setup was incredibly good, and that's some textbook Call of Duty from OpTic Gaming. So skipping forward 2 hills is the final clip of this video. It's highlighting Envoy's gun skill and his ability to defend this hill. And so again, what happens in this cave hill, it's kind of interesting because it was like a chain of events leading back to our last clip where they decided to push mid instead of pushing the spawns for the old hill. It's just weird because off that tent rotation, you move towards mid, and the better spawns to have are the yellow house side because the next hill is back cave. And of course, the Huntsmen end up winning the spawns there, then they win rotation, and now here you are, Envoy, frying them in this cave entrance here as they spawn trap him in the back of the map. First of all, pay attention to Envoy's setup. He's on the God Heady, and pay attention to how he switches up his positioning to really throw off OpTic Gaming, and then he kind of bounces back and forth, checks top sandbags, and is playing both positions. This was really, really rough. It put OpTic into a big time hole after this hard point, and basically they were never able to recover after Envoy put him in the body bag right here. So let's just watch the clip. Let's go.
Still inside a cave.
One more there. There's one more there. Looks like Envoy, if he can get this kill, he may flip the spawn. Envoy trying to stay alive. Can his teammates spawn him? Slasher's trying to hunt him down. He's able to get another kill. But it looks like the OpTic Gaming LA team still going to spawn a pretty darn close, but now they have to flood through. Envoy continues. What a play from him.
And that's the big thing, though. Even if you don't have those spawns, the fact that you have the momentum inside, you're able to get that presence at the hard point early as Envoy keeps on going. Look how difficult this is now for them to come through. And that's 5 in a row, 6 in a row, as he will finally drop, but the damage has been done. The lead continues to build for Huntsmen.
So, I mean, such a nice clip there, but Envoy is showing the importance of shoulder peeking there. As you can see multiple times in the cave entrance there, he kind of shoulder peeks it, so it baits them into shooting, and then that allows him to center before he jumps out and center right onto where they're going to be, and then he beams them from back out the entrance, then he goes back up to sandbag, so he's killing it. Envoy was playing that incredibly well. I just wanted to show that because it really is gun skill there and just natural talent from Envoy, and that's what you love to see if you're the Huntsman, because that's probably going to stick around all year long. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to be doing a lot more of these in the next few weeks. I mean, my goodness. Just drop all your comments down below about what you think about these clips, and then give me the next series or next game that you guys want to see me talk about, whether it's Search and Destroy, Domination, or a different map on Hardpoint potentially or something else. Let me know, and I will be totally down to talk about it. But as always, guys, I'm your boy Salvation Elite. Like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed. But as always, we'll see you next time. I'm out.